Hi, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for joining me today for another yoga flow. Today's yoga flow is actually inspired by those times where we maybe get sick, get a cold, have rested and recuperated, and are starting to ease our way back into normal everyday life. So this is meant to come as you're kind of on the come up from a cold, but maybe still not feeling your best just quite yet. It is cold and flu season here, so I'm definitely not feeling my best, but I'm starting to get back into feeling better. I can tell. I know I need some movement, but a lot of movement just doesn't seem like what my body needs right now. So in the event you feel the same, or when you do, you can come back to this video and take a short little flow with me. This is going to be a really gentle flow, 10 minutes, not even. And make sure to have some tools with you, some blocks, some pillows, blankets, whatever supports your practice best. We really want to allow stretches to open up the body a little bit. Laying down for long periods of time, sitting for long periods of time can really lock us up a bit. So these are all going to help open us up. Without further ado, we shall begin. We are actually going to start today in a child's pose. Now, yogi's choice, you can take a knees hip width distance apart child's pose, or you can take a wild child's pose. To add a little bit of extra support, you can slide block directly under. So for today's pose, if you want to think about the intention of honoring our body's rest periods, I think that's a wonderful intention to have. Life is constantly go, 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 but we do not have to be. Periods of rest and recuperation are not something to be seen as weak. In fact, it is very strong to stop a go, go, go lifestyle in order to honor the fact that we need to rest in order to show up for the go, go, go style as best we can. So placing arms towards the long edge or the short edge, the bottom of the mat, and resting the head down towards the mat. If this is a lot for you, you can stack one arm on top of the other and rest the head here. And we're just going to hold for a couple deep breaths. You can also place a pillow, if you happen to have one, or a blanket that's folded underneath your head. This is going to be a nice, sweet, short flow today. Just again, getting us ready to come back into maybe our normal routines, and giving a little bit of movement made specifically to open up the body after a time of rest, maybe when we're feeling a little bit tight. Let's all take one big inhale. If you had a block under the pelvis, slide it to the side. Send the feet directly behind you. Roll up through the spine as you come to lower the chest, or the pelvis, down towards the mat. Let me slide back a little bit here. Coming into a cobra here. Invitation to take some gentle organic movement here as you roll one shoulder down towards that side of the spine and looking over if you're able or would like. And then rolling the other shoulder down, looking over the opposite shoulder. And then back to neutral. Very good. Let's all exhale, lower down to the mat, tuck the toes, lift up and come into our tabletop positions. Once we're here, we are going to take our cat-cow. So we're going to untuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the gaze, big breath in, and exhale to round and contract through the spine, keeping the shoulders over the wrist, knees under the hips. And again, invitation to take any organic movement here, perhaps making some circles as you go. Feels pretty good. Just two more in whatever way feels good for you. Good, last one. Fantastic. Let's take a foot stretch here. Tuck the toes. Bring the knees a little bit closer together, bring the feet closer together as you walk the hands in towards the body and try to rest your sit bone on the feet. This angle may cut my head off just a little bit here. Now, if this is a little uncomfortable for you, feel free to take a blanket, a bolster, a pillow, place it under here, or you can come up onto the hands a little bit to kind of mitigate how much stretch you're putting on the feet. So you can kind of walk them forward a little bit to help take some stress off the weight that you're putting on the bottom half of the body. Just one more deep breath here. Good. Exhale, slide the hands down towards the mat. Untuck the toes, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap them out and bring the knees or feet to the side. Take a seat in an easy pose. Facing here. And let's just take some simple spinal twists where we inhale, bring hands up all the way overhead, and as we exhale, we are going to look to the right side of the room and bring our hands out toward that right side. So actually I'm going to face the long edge of my mat for this. I think that's a little bit better. So looking to the right side of the room or looking to the hand that is behind the body, holding here, and the spine is nice and straight. Good. Exhale, lower that right hand directly behind you. Left hand is going to come up and over. A little mini side body stretch here while we get a spinal twist. Good. Press up from the right hand, inhale to come back up to neutral, and let's take that mini flow on the left side. Opening those hands, looking directly behind you if you're able to, or towards the left side of the room. Trying to keep the shoulders in line with the arms. Good. Exhale, left hand down to the floor, right arm up and over. Thinking of lifting and lengthening here. And inhale, press up, back to center. Let's bring the feet to touch. Hands come under the toes, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, walk the hands forward. Take a butterfly forward fold. You can let the back really round here, and if you want some more support in the knees, feel free to take a block and just slide it under the knees. You can have that little bit of extra support. Again, feel free to round through the spine here, making it very passive through the back. Inhale, lift up through the fingers, walk the hands in, bring the knees together, send the feet slightly down towards the bottom of the mat, walk the hands back to bring yourself to lay down on your mat. We're going to take a supported bridge pose if you happen to have a block. If you don't want to use a block or don't have one, it's totally fine. You can also use a pillow. So we are going to place our low back tailbone on the mat. We're going to keep our feet and our knees hip width distance apart. On the inhale, we're just going to lift and bring a block directly under our pelvis. Now you can bring this at whatever height you would like. You might change it. We're going to hold this pose for just a little bit here. We're going to allow the block to help us really get into this pose. So we're going to tuck the shoulders lightly, one under the other, pressing the hands firmly onto the mat. Toes firmly grounded to the mat. Knees are not splaying open and wide. They are staying in line with the hips. And hold and breathe. And if you feel so inclined, you can either remove the block or come up higher. And that block is directly placed right behind the pelvis, near the sit bone, right above the sit bone. Very good. Option here to take a variation, holding the block, tucking the toes, so the tips of the feet, or the toes, are touching the mat. You can inhale, lift one leg. If you're feeling so inclined, you can inhale, lift the other, making sure the block is nice and stable here. This is kind of like a shoulder stand prep that we're doing here. flexing the feet towards the head. Now you're more than welcome to let go of the block if you feel comfortable. However, if you do not, totally okay. Feel free to continue holding that block. On the exhale, let's bring one leg down at a time, firmly planting our feet back to the mat. Lift slightly higher, bring the block out from under you, and lower the pelvis down towards the mat. Invite the knees into the chest on exhale. And when you're ready, you can inhale to release, coming into your corpse pose. Sending the feet down towards the bottom of the mat. Hands can rest on either side of the hips. Palms facing up, open to receiving. And gently begin to invite the body to take a small period of rest at the end of this flow today. So asking the eyes to close gently, the mouth, doing a quick scan, making sure we're not holding on to any tension willingly throughout the body. And in this time, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm, I will simply ask you in this time to reflect on the way that you moved today and how you did move your body and it did feel good, but it wasn't in a way that was too much or too fast, and just how showing up for your body's needs when it needs them feels. I'll allow you to think on that just for a couple moments before I invite you to finish the flow and wake up. Gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes, short but sweet today, as is our practice. And when you feel ready, you can gently blink the eyes open, readjust to the light, roll over onto one side, and we will finish up today's practice. We will inhale, bring hands all the way up overhead, holding everything we've created for ourselves today. Exhale, palms touch as you bring all that down to heart center, bowing forward, namaste, knowing that it never leaves. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It was a pleasure, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye. Have a wonderful day.